Hi, and welcome to the Modern Persian Food Podcast. We are food bloggers,
Bita, Arabian,
and Bita Nazim Kelly, and we're here to share with you the rich flavors and fresh ingredients of Persian cooking and how to incorporate them into today's modern lifestyles.
We're excited to introduce you to the flavors, tastes, and techniques we use, and also our own cultural stories and perspectives growing up in the U.S. in a Persian family. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to episode number 19. Today we're talking about a fun topic, dates. We're talking about Persian dates, dates that you eat, dates that you go on, and let's start with that.
We thought that in light of current holidays that are just around the corner and that are right upon us, that we can talk about dates.
What's the current holiday? Are you talking about Valentine's Day?
I'm talking about Valentine's Day, Love Day.
Aw, how cute. We're talking about dates on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, hot dates.
Speaking of hot dates, we like to eat hot dates. So if you haven't had a date, they're delicious. They're very sweet, buttery, brown sugar, caramely to me. And my daughter, who still lives at home with us, she has been on a healthy eating kick as of late, which I love. And she loves to do this new thing. Well, she takes dates and makes sure there's no pit in it, right? If they're not pitted dates, you remove the pit. She puts a little almond butter in there and then gently heats it in the microwave for this like decadent melt in your mouth sensation. Have you ever tried it?
No, I haven't, but that sounds delicious. What a great little dessert, too. I would love that.
Oh, yeah. It's a treat.
I love actually warm dates that are wrapped in bacon or prosciutto, and you can stuff them with cheeses if you want or with walnuts and then cook them in the oven for a little bit. The bacon caramelizes and gets crunchy on the outside, and then the date is super delicious and sweet. So that's like actually a really fun appetizer. You could put a little toothpick in it and pick a little platter of them.
I have not tried that.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I do like them with walnuts. I like them with a little walnut in it or a little almond in it for just a quick pack of energy.
Yeah.
Speaking of energy, I have some date nut energy balls that we sometimes make. They're just raw nuts, whatever dried fruit you like. And when I put dates in recipes like the energy balls or even in smoothies, what I'll do to get them to blend better in the Cuisinart or the blender is I will pour just a bit of boiling water over them and let them soften.
Yeah.
And it helps them to blend better.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. And those are great because I can imagine that those are really convenient to like pop in the morning if you are running around and you just want a little energy boost or a little bit of something in the morning when you're running late. At least for me, I always feel like if I have something that's easy and accessible to just pop in my mouth, that I'll have a better likelihood of actually eating sometimes in the morning.
It's better for you than something that you open out of a package or a box. So yeah, quick energy after workout, what have you. I also really love them in Persian lentil and date rice, Polo.
Yes.
It's probably my personal favorite way to enjoy dates. I prefer the flavor of dates over raisins. A lot of people put raisins in their lentil rice. I will put some, but I love dates in that mixture. We've talked about Polo, the lentil rice in previous episodes, but it's such a comforting, delicious combination of the cinnamon and the lentils and the dates. And I put nuts in there too. It's so good.
Yeah, that's delicious. I love that. I serve that a little bit differently. I actually cook that separate, the walnuts and raisins, and sometimes with caramelized onions and walnuts. It sounds delicious too. And kind of mix that and use that as a topping that we'll put over Polo, or sometimes actually Reshteh Polo, which is like a pilaf with mini smoked noodles. You can have that like a vegan option, is to actually use those dates and the raisins and the onions as like more protein and fiber to the dish. I love it like that too. That's like one of my favorite ways of having dates in Persian food.
Yeah, lentils are a powerhouse of nutrition. I always change the recipe slightly and make it be heavier with lentils and a little bit less of a proportion of the rice.
One of my favorite date dishes is actually a breakfast dish that my dad would make for us growing up. It's called Khormah Maloos. And it's basically sunny side up eggs with caramelized dates. The way that he would make it, and now that I make it, is that you pit the dates and cut up the dates into a few pieces and just saute it very lightly in a little bit of oil in the bottom of a pan. And then I'll crack open the eggs all around the dates. And I may cover it just for a few minutes to actually get it cooked through. But I love to see the beautiful yolks of the eggs in the platter. And you serve that with a little bit of bread or feta cheese on the side, and that's like a very comforting breakfast dish. But if I, I'm running around and I just want to have like a simple dinner or something like that, I'll actually crack some eggs on some dates and have it as like a simple dinner as well.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so interesting. And how cute and sweet that your dad would make it.
Yeah.
We have a few people in our family with a really sweet tooth that would love that.
Yeah. And dates are always great to have like with tea. Like if you're going to do like tea time or a little tea ceremony, dates is one of the things that you could have with your tea. Is kind of typical and traditional of Persian tea service. And sometimes I've seen also like a memorial or like religious events, they'll have a platter of dates that have walnuts in them. And then in certain ceremonies, if the people were like fasting to break their fast, they'll usually have dates with like warm water as the first food that they have. It's very energizing, gives you a lot of strength.
Yeah. I randomly looked up the top 10 aphrodisiac foods because I was trying to prove a point to my hubby that pomegranates are like a super sexy fruit.
Yeah.
Because we were laughing so hard at that audio image that you made, which we'll have to reference back to Instagram. It was really funny. Back in the Fessenjune episode, I tried to say that Fessenjune is really sultry and kind of sexy, and because of the pomegranate to me. So yeah, there are some sources that link pomegranates as number one, but dates are on the list.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dates are.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
So I think if people are talking about like their Valentine's Day menu, maybe we could have Fessenjune as the main course and then a round of dates stuffed with almond butter or pomegranates or something for dessert. Get them all ready and in the mood.
Yeah, I think you could have fun.
Talking about dates, the other type of dates. So isn't it like so typical of Persians to try to matchmake people? That they're always like, oh, you need to go out with this person. Or like, let me trick you to think that you're going to go do something else. And let me try to introduce you and do khastagari. And so you guys can get together and get married.
Oh my gosh.
Don't you have a fun story about that?
Yes, I do. So way back when, I think I may have still been in college, but I've always been an animal lover and a pet lover. As you know, we have a house full of fur kids as well as regular kids. And growing up, especially cats, I always had cats and I was the cat girl. I had cat gifts for every birthday and holiday. And my lovely Mamanjun and her little group of Persian friends that she would gather with, unbeknownst to me, arranged for me to meet a young man who was visiting from New York. He was like a marathon runner and I was a runner. And so they thought that was enough.
Yeah.
We would definitely like have a ton in common and fall in love and get married, right? But instead of telling me that, she told me that her friend had a Persian kitten that she didn't want, that needed to be rehomed. And so, of course, I was going to come. So I show up at the tea party fully ready to embrace a kitten and take it home. And then we walk in and it's like one of those semicircular tea parties where everyone's sitting in chairs in a circle. And here's this guy. And it kind of became very obvious by the conversation that there was no cat.
Oh, God. You're like, forget this.
I was so mad. Yeah. I was like, oh, my gosh. Where's the cat? I didn't even like entertain the prospect of this poor guy. So that's my story.
Aw. Yeah, I totally see that too. And even me growing up too, everyone in the Persian community is trying to like match make all the young girls and the young boys together. But it's funny because at least when I was growing up, they're like, no, you can't have a boyfriend, but here's someone that you can marry. And it's like, maybe not, because I don't really know that person. And that makes me feel like really uncomfortable when you guys talk like that. But yeah, so needless to say, you married a Persian guy anyway.
I did. Yeah. That I met on my own.
Yeah.
More or less. So But what we like to do is we like to walk downtown. We were lucky we live close to downtown Palo Alto, and that's what we do for dates these days. And, we've gone through versions of restaurants being open and not open, and they're open again. So we hope to go explore that option on a day that's not raining and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully that we can do a double date one day and go have our Persian food together that we've been talking about. Hopefully the restaurants will stay open again.
Me too. I can't wait.
I know, me too.
We have so many things to celebrate.
Yeah.
Our sweeties need to meet each other.
Yeah.
I have a question. We have Ask the Beats.
That's us.
That's us. Today's question actually comes off of email. And the question was, are there recipes that are vegetarian that can include pomegranates? And more generally, what are some other recipes that include pomegranates?
Mm-hmm. I love pomegranates. We spent a few episodes ago talking about fesenjoon, which is made with pomegranate molasses, and you can garnish with fresh pomegranates. And I know you love doing that. I love doing that too. Really, like any kind of food that you feel like needs like a little bit of brightness to it. Some people will do a squeeze of lemon. You could just put a little bit of like pomegranate arrows on it. That'll really give it a brightness to it. Roasted vegetables would be really great with it, or like salads and just adding some of the raw pomegranate to it. But pomegranate molasses, there's some like really great things that you can do. You could just use it as kind of like a sauce. The other time I talked about adding it to my chicken wings, then you had the idea of adding it to meatballs. So I think that it's really endless what you can do with pomegranate. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really nutritious. It's got antioxidants. It's a superfood and good fiber. And I actually had someone ask me, a student of mine that I was encouraging to try new fruits, ask how to eat them. And they were really wondering if you have to spit every seed out. And I said, no, I crack open a pomegranate every day. I have that underwater method. It's really fast and easy when you do it in the water way. And I actually put it in my oatmeal bowl with a bunch of other fruit.
Yeah.
I love the texture of it. And then I leave the rest of the pomegranate arrows out for whoever wants to snack on them. My daughter loves them. But I have a kale salad recipe that I like to pull out for the holidays. It's a fruited kale salad, and it has pomegranate arrows in there, and it adds color and flavor and texture. So yeah, like you said, you can garnish almost anything. I do garnish the fesenjoon. I garnish sometimes like shirin polo, even the jeweled rice. I don't use the molasses in any other recipe that I could think of, but you could get really creative with it, I think.
Yeah, totally. Your oatmeal with pomegranate breakfast reminds me of I love actually for breakfast having plain yogurt with granola and then adding fresh pomegranate to it as well. And that again, just has like a brightness to it. Just makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah, almost the same kind of crunch as adding nuts to it.
Yeah, well, great question.
This was fun. Thank you. I hope that you're inspired to go on some dates, eat some dates.
Yeah. Include dates into your meals. They're really delicious, really good for you, and very Persian.
Yeah. Thank you, Bita. Until next time.
Thank you, Bita June. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
So you've been listening to Modern Persian Food with Bita and Beata. Thanks for spending time with us. If you enjoyed what you heard today, consider telling your friends or giving us a good rating on iTunes. You can subscribe to our show for free on your favorite podcasting app or find us online at modernpersianfood.com for recipes and info that we talked about today. Thanks so much. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and see you next time.